Hello, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail and Friends. I'm Gail. Hi.
I'm
The
Frank.
community's friend. This is this is Bryan Hayward. Please make sure as we go along today that you put your name, if you choose to, your first name or a handle or whatever. Tell us where you're coming to see us from. Um, this broadcast is usually done on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. But we hold it once a month on Tuesday mornings, which right now it's 7 o'clock my time. But it's middle of the day, 9 o'clock for Brian. And for those of you in Europe and in Africa, this has been a better time for you. So we try to hold it once a month so that we can make sure that we reach everybody around the world. So I see that right now we have 9 viewers on, which is awesome. So if you're out there, give us a shout. Say hi. I'll read your name, or I'll tell you people where you're coming from. This morning's guest is Bryan Hayward. Bryan is a retired chemical engineer. I would like to say that makes him older than me, which it probably does. Brian's actually, it's crazy, and I love it. And he doesn't know this, but Brian is actually um, the same age as my stepdad was. My mom married a man 13 years younger than she was when I was 7. And I will tell you what, it was so fun having a really young stepdad. And so, I mean, he raised me pretty much from the time I was 7. And so, Brian doesn't know that, but in a way, he reminds me a little bit of my
Oh,
dad.
that's nice.
He's not old enough to be more like my father. I guess he
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be.
great. I,
But,
I did get that too.
but I always enjoy talking to the people who remind me of people in my lives. And so I always enjoy talking to Brian. I
Hmm.
have met him once actually in
Yeah.
in in real life. I've met him this summer. So Brian is a retired chemical engineer, and he comes to us today to talk a little bit about some of the ways he has found to relieve pain through CBD, and how he has, not just for himself, but for many of the members of our community. Hello, Brian. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm great. Thanks. Thanks for
Now,
introducing me. Hmm.
you're welcome. I have a question for you, Brian.
Oh,
You're sitting in your vehicle.
yeah.
Why
Sorry
is
about
that?
that.
No, we people have to go places. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
grateful you're here. So
I,
why is it that you're sitting in your vehicle this morning?
I met somebody a few minutes ago in Worcester, and I'm on my way to meet another friend of mine in Northborough. So I had to stop and sit down with all of you for a while.
Oh, so you're out gallivanting this
I'm
morning.
moving.
You're moving, and because you're doing that, because you're gallivanting around the neighborhood out there in the Boston area,
Right. Right.
you've decided that it's okay for you to stop and come in and see us. So, well, we're grateful that you're here today, Brian.
Happy to be
So,
here.
so tell me, Brian, how long ago? Tell me about how you got involved with CBD.
Okay. Okay. Well, from being a teenager, I think is when I first noticed, well, maybe even a little younger, but I first noticed that I had arthritis because I hurt my back a couple of times. And what my mother and I used to call it is our back would go out. I'd be on the floor for essentially for 3 days or so because my back would go out. And what I found out was it's because I had the beginnings of arthritis even way back then. And so, uh, and my knees hurt and my hips and shoulders all, most of my early 20s anyway, I was seeing pain from that. And now at my age of 75, my hands are pretty much like this. And it's a lot of arthritis there. And so what happened was that I was told by doctors that I can't take NSAIDs anymore, can't take Tylenol, all those things, because I was popping those pills constantly to try to reduce the pain. And I've been unable to do things with my hands that most people do without thinking about it. I got to ask other people to open things for me because it hurts a lot. So I found out that there was something I could use, and I got recommended from a nurse friend of my daughter to try CBD because she's been recommending it to her patients for a while. And so I tried CBD and I got a salve and I put it in my hands, and the pain in my hands went away like within a few minutes. And I started taking a tincture that helped put CBD throughout my whole body, and it really helped a lot. I've changed my diet in recent times because I've been hanging around with the lipedema community, and I realized that a high carb diet, which is what I lived on, was pretty damaging as far as inflammation goes. So anyway, so I've been using CBD. I tried to find out what made good quality versus poor quality. And because I have this chemical engineering background, I was really interested in the chemistry of it. And so I started to work at finding information out about CBD, and it's really hard to do. It's hard to find the truth because there are so many people in it that aren't telling the truth and are selling things and making high profits, but not quality products. So anyways, I finally found some organizations like, National Institute of Health, NIH, is a great source for information about CBD. And I found, other organizations that had researchers that were truly doing good quality research. So I learned a lot. Finally, I found a place. And so what I've concluded is that only CBD from a farm that I know about can I know what I'm actually getting from it. So I meet the farmers that I work with, and I go to their farms, and I learn about them and the people that I do. I use a couple of farms now, and I know they're honest, honorable, and they're farming families. They're not corporations trying to make a lot of money. So anyways,
Right.
they make a good quality product. I don't know. I talked forever about purple.
Well, you definitely are passionate about it,
I
which I'm
am.
really grateful for because you've helped so many people of our community already. Um, whether it's they purchase the product from you or they purchase the product after talking to you and finding out just how to find a good product.
Mm.
So many of us would want to support local businesses.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, and even though I purchased from you, I don't have a local business around here that I trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because just like you said, we need to find out what is in that product. And the reason, from what I understand, the reason that we want to know what's in our product is because of contaminants.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, so you've explained to us before about contamination and CBD. Is there a way that you can explain it to us in a short way to let us know why some CBD products or why some CBD is is considered high in contaminants,
Right.
while others, which are grown in our organic, highly regulated
Mm-hmm.
farms, is not? Can you explain that?
Sure. The cannabis plant that has less than 0.3 THC, 0.3% THC, which is doesn't affect your brain, doesn't get you high. Uh, those products, uh, I'm losing my.
Okay, let me. I think I asked that question a little confusing.
Okay.
So we do know that you can get a good quality product.
Mm-hmm.
You can also get a product that has a lot of contaminants in
Right.
it.
Right.
And from what I understand, it's because of how the hemp plant is how it's grown or where it's
Right.
grown.
Right.
So so you have explained to me before about the amount of products on the market in the United
Mm-hmm.
States
Right.
that has high contaminant levels. Can
Right.
you explain how we can tell the difference?
Okay. Well, one of the key things is that you there are several things that should be on the label of any CBD product that I would buy, and that is that it's or organic, that it's grown organically, that it's full spectrum CBD. That needs to be on the label. Those three words in a row: full spectrum CBD. That means it's the whole plant. So you want to have that. And then if you know the farm that it's from, that should be on the label. What farm is this from? If you have those three things on the label, that it's organic, you know the farm that it's from, and
Full spectrum
it's full
CBD.
spectrum CBD. So if you have those three things on the label, that's a pretty good chance that you've got a good product.
Okay.
That's
And
important.
and
If it's
so
not,
is
yeah,
so is there also, can you also get lab results as far as
yep,
whether
you
or
should
not
be
this
able to, yep.
product is
Every label should have the website that you can click on and go to that that gives you the chemistry of it, and it can tell you whether it has contaminants in it or not.
okay? And
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't, then it's questionable product.
Right, and then because what it means is they can buy their CBD anywhere in the world that they want to, and they don't have to tell you where they got it from. And what that means is the cheapest stuff is the CBD plant, the hemp plant that the CBD comes from, is used for as a cover crop. So when a farmer's farmland gets depleted and contaminated with anything, which they do if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So they put hemp on it. Hemp has a particular ability to suck everything out of the soil, and it sucks the contaminants out. And then you throw the hemp away, or you sell it to somebody, which is what's being done now, and you make money on it, even though it's contaminated with heavy metals, pesticides. Glyphosate is the main ingredient in Roundup, and glyphosate has been found in these products. And one really good study that I know about showed that 70% of the products CBD that we buy in this country is mislabeled and contaminated. 70% is contaminated with heavy metals or pesticides and a whole bunch of other things. But the heavy metal and the pesticides, the glyphosate, those are extremely dangerous to be putting in our bodies. And so you can't have I wouldn't have any confidence. You need to decide yourself, but I don't have any confidence unless I know what farm it's from, and I could call the
Right,
farmer if I want to. That's a
right.
really key thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's really kind of nice. And from what I can understand, it's no more expensive for
Mm-hmm.
the consumer to get a quality product
Right.
than to get a lower quality product.
That's
I
it.
have
There's no way to tell. Yeah, by price.
I have found um I mean I've been shopping for CBD for years,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Since it's become legal here in the United States. I've been shopping for CBD. I'm still not paying any more
Right.
this many years later for a quality product
Right.
than a product that wasn't helpful
Yep.
to me.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. It says, "Thank you. This info on CBD is useful. He checked mine and it's not labeled as you say. I'm in the UK though. Does it still stand?"
Yep. I've been shipping to the UK for a while. Takes a little while to get there, and it's always possible that somebody you know could question whether it's okay, but the laws about it are very kind of not clear. And I send it there, and nobody's had a problem. So I
Right,
do that, or you can buy it locally where you are. If you find farms and they you can confirm that what farm this is from, and that I would call the farmer and just introduce yourself and say, oh, you want to know about CBD and what they do.
right. Um, Brian, I think Jane's saying it's not labeled as you say because she's looked at her label.
Mhm.
I would say, Jane, you could actually send Bryan a text, send him a picture of the label, um, or, or or have hold a meeting with him. I'm going to go ahead and put how you contact Bryan, how you can get a meeting with Bryan, and this is a consultation. You just you know you can click on this link I'm putting in right now.
Mhm.
It's his we call it a Calendly link. You can make an
Mhm.
appointment with him.
Yeah, I'd love
Um,
to talk. Yeah.
he really enjoys talking to people. I was gonna say text him. I'm not sure you're in the UK, but as you can see, also I can you can send him an email. His
Yep.
email is right here, Bryan with a Y at
Mhm.
lipedema-simplified.org. And Bryan really enjoys visiting with people. He would spend his whole day on the phone. So you got to make sure that you say, okay, Bryan, all you have is 20 minutes. I'm just kidding. Bryan, it's kind of fun because
Yeah.
you are so passionate about this.
Mm.
Now, I do want to um, so we have another um, Maya Kaz says how to contact him to find places where I can be sure to purchase a quality product. And so I just put that in the chat. So please make sure you do that. And then, like Jane says, I don't think it's legal to grow in the UK. So that could be, Jane, you are getting things grown from other places.
Mm.
And so you might not have the farms right there in the UK, but you might be getting product that's imported. And so that's one way that you can talk to Bryan. You know, give him send him an email, um, make a um, an appointment with him and talk it over, and he'll help you find find the best product
Right.
that he can get for you.
And I don't
Um,
charge for that consulting. Any contact with me is not charged. There's no charge for
right, right. And Bryan does have Bryan does have a website. I forgot to put that in, Bryan. I'm sorry.
that. I don't see
Um,
my email address. Oh, the email address is underneath on the screen. Okay. Yep.
right,
Yep.
right. And so he does have a website, uh, Natural Wellness
Wellness
Boss
Boston.
com. Okay, I've got it. Okay,
Uh,
so I put his website in the comments as well. One of the things that we have found with the with our community is that we are finding that all the solutions we possibly can find to live
mm,
our best lives with lipedema, we all feel pain differently. Some of
mm,
us feel it pressure on our pressure on our skin. We find that, or maybe we just ache, or the heaviness, or someone touches us, or blood pressure cuffs. Any of those things, we find that we have pain with, and we are discovering that by using CBD, many people in our community are discovering that we get relief. Bryan, what kinds? Can you share a couple of testimonies or
mhm.
of comments that some of our community members have shared with you?
Sure. Yeah, I talked to almost everybody that is interested in these CBD products, and after they try them in fact, somebody last night on a discussion we had for lipedema community, a lady said that she had just gotten her delivery of the CBD and has tried it, a salve to reduce the pain, like locally wherever you have the pain, and then capsules that she's going to be using. And she started to take the capsule. She already started, and she's noticing that she's sleeping better now, and that she feels better, and that she she has a grandmother, 103 years old, that
That's
hit
her mom. Her mom's
her mom.
103.
Her mom is 103 years old, and she got the salve for her mother and some capsules for her mother too. And her mother has like changed her personality. It's changed like immediately as soon as she started using the CBD, and particularly rubbing it on with the places where there's pain. Now her 103-year-old mother wants to get out of the house and into cars, and I hear that from women in the lipedema community all the time. The big thing that happens is that people are feeling bad, stressed, depressed, whatever, because they can't get out of the house because they don't feel safe. And once that anybody starts to reduce the pain they're experiencing, they tend to be more mobile. That's the most consistent thing I hear from people, is the mobility thing, which is a giant problem, is dramatically improved by using the CBD. And people go shopping and will go for a walk, maybe not a long walk because you still have the disease, but
Right. Right.
people are able to get around.
Right. And I know that for me personally, I take the CBD and it calms my restless legs. I I started taking it. I take a capsule in the evening. I started taking it to just to see what effects it is, because you had said something about it reduces it reduces itching. There was one thing in your presentation that said something about relieves itching,
Yeah.
and I have my hands itch all the time, and so I thought, okay, I'll take this, reduce the itching, because for me it's like snake oil. I'll try it once, and it reduced my restless legs, and I was like, oh my gosh! So now not only do my hands not itch, but the restless legs have calmed down, and I sleep better. And then I ordered the salve, and the salve looks like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a salve, and I love it. It's green. I know, it's like, oh, it smells all earthy, and you can tell I
Yeah.
dig around in there,
Yeah.
right? But what I do with this is, if I know I'm going to have a long day on my feet, I get my feet all, salved up, and I pull it up into my ankles and my calves, and then I can stand on my feet longer. It's made a huge difference. I'm not gimping around all the time, and so it's been a relief for me, and but I do know you said something about, we had a member of our community who couldn't, like, almost couldn't bear even her compression. Will you
Yeah.
tell the story about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like putting compression garments on for this particular lady that started using the CBD was a big problem because it caused so much pain to put them on. She didn't want to put them on. And so what she did was she put the CBD salve on her legs, and she made a big point of like all over my legs, top to bottom. And she said then the garments got on more easily and didn't cause any significant pain. And the pain that she was experiencing all day long was pretty much eliminated like for 10 hours by putting the salve on her legs, put the garment on, and this woman didn't leave the house, I don't know, hardly ever. She'd have
Yeah,
people come and deliver her mail because she couldn't walk up and down the stairs. And now she goes out, she drives, which she wasn't able to do before, goes to the grocery store, goes shopping, whatever. And, it's not perfect because she still has lipedema, but she's able to be mobile now. And lipedema seems like the process of what lipedema seems to do to people is over a period of time, it takes more and more of your mobility away.
right.
Like a lady called me just recently and she was talking to me and she says, Bryan, I just want you to know that while we're talking on the phone, I'm tapping my knee. And she said, I never was able to do that before because it hurts so much. Can't even tap it. And
Yeah,
now taking CBD for a while, that pain is gone. She can tap on her knee and she doesn't have pain. That's pretty significant. And my opinion is it's because It's full spectrum CBD means it's the product from the whole flower. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of different compounds that the plant makes to protect itself over millions of years. And luckily for us, those chemicals, those compounds that are in the whole flower work all together synergistically, all the little parts together produce something that's bigger than the individual parts just added up.
Right, right.
So,
So I want to share this comment. Um, Jen was saying that she takes a CBD THC combo to help with sleep. Now her doctor has prescribed Symbios 30 milligram CBD oil from Tilray Medical for daily inflammation and pain management.
mhm,
And so people find that 30 milligrams of CBD oil,
yeah,
and that's the size of your capsule, and
yeah,
that's the typical um,
dosage. Yeah.
dose is 30 milligrams, and it they do make it pharmaceuticals. There are pharmaceutical companies that do have this. I enjoy, how do I put this? I enjoy knowing what is in this. It was is in what I'm taking.
Mm.
And so, for example, your capsule, the capsule that I take from you from the Bordertown Farms, has CBD oil in a carrier oil, and that carrier oil is extra virgin olive oil. So that's all it's in it, and
Mm.
I like that.
Mm.
Right, I like that in your capsules. That's all that's in it, and even on the salve, there's a label, and I can read every word on there. Shea butter, beeswax. I can read every word on there, so it's lovely. Now, see, Jen's in Canada, and you can't ship to Canada, so
Right.
she has to take it through. It's hers is all government regulated.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, who is
So
this? Is that
this
where
is
Jen's
this
from?
is Jen's Sefton. Yes.
Okay.
She says she's in Canada, Jen Sefton,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah. So,
we have
send
several
me a
people.
picture. Send me a picture of the label, front and back, and I can give you some feedback on that. And I'll check out this company and their product, Tilray. I'll
Yeah,
check that out for you too.
Tilray Medical. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So in our audience today, we have Nancy. She's from Michigan. Hi, Nancy. James, we know, is from the UK. Maya is from Kansas City, Missouri. We have Josanne. She's from Gilmer, Texas. Hi. Kathleen's here today. Tanya's here. We have people from all over the world, in Canada and the United States, the UK. Gwyneth is here. She's on her lunch break. She's in London. Hi, Gwyneth.
hi,
Um,
Glennis.
Cheryl's from Wisconsin. It's always good to see. Um, oh, this is another thing. Jen says it's frustrating that I'm not allowed to take this prescription across the border. For example, um, she wanted to go to the FDRS conference last weekend or to Germany when she goes for surgery. She can't take her prescription across the border.
That's crazy, huh?
And this is a prescription to ease pain, right? For pain management.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
can't take it across the border. And I understand that. I took a cruise a couple of weeks ago, and the cruise line said,
Mm.
sorry about that. The cruise line says, here are these exempted products, and on it was CBD and, well, hello, Bunny. CBD and CBD products weren't allowed on the cruise line, and the only thing it said is that if we were to if it was to be found, it would be confiscated. And I thought, well, it's worth it. As long as I don't get arrested, it's worth it
Yeah.
having my CBD with me. And so I
Yeah.
took my CBD with me, and
Mm.
I thought, well, if it's confiscated, it's confiscated. And it wasn't confiscated. But but it's CBD, not, it doesn't have THC in it, or it's minimal. So anyway, I have a guest this morning with me. This is my grandkid. Anyway, so Bryan, we're gonna start wrapping it up. I want to make sure that I have your information out there um, for them. Let me grab the your um, telephone number.
Mm.
This boy, um, he says no one's going to um, stalk him, which is, I guess, okay. No one's going to stalk him. So
Nobody's going to stalk me anyway. Yeah, I'm
no,
too old.
so he's too old. He figures. So he puts his phone number out there: 1-508-450-2010. And he says, send him a text. Now, remember, we're going to care about Bryan's sleep, because sleep is important. He is in on East Coast time. So just remember that, okay? When you send him a text, he is happy to talk to you all the time
Mm.
about CBD
Yep.
and other things. Now,
Or
Bryan,
anything else too.
besides, huh? What?
Any other subject too, if you
Other
want.
subjects too. Bryan, besides their CBD, what other kinds of things do you do? I heard you doing, you got a
I have
little
a new
job.
job. I have a
You
new
do.
job.
Will you tell us about that?
Yeah, all right. It's called Seniors Helping Seniors, and it puts senior people together with other seniors who need some help. And so I have a 93-year-old lady who lives on her own, and she really needs help with even like ordering groceries, getting groceries, whatever. Somebody to be there to help her stay safe. So I see her 3 times a week, and we have a great time. And there's always something exciting to do. And that's I have a lot of fun with that. And then I leave there and I go and see a gentleman who's in his 70s, and he has emotional difficulties, and things like OCD and stuff like that, and he needs help getting his house organized and things. So that's I go and see him in the afternoons. So that's 3 days a week I do that now. So it's fun. So I enjoy being with people who remind me of my grandmother, who I used to visit every day in the nursing home. So I
Yeah.
really enjoy that. And so anyway, that's what most of my life is all about now that I'm semi-retired.
And I'm so glad to hear that, because the more we can help each other, the more we feel that we're not alone,
Right. Yeah.
right? That there's people out there helping us, because that's one of the things that we always, you know, with lipedema, we feel very isolated.
Yeah.
As we age, we start to feel
Mm-hmm.
isolated, and so by helping other people, we help ourselves,
Mm.
don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's
right.
yeah.
So, so and as you know, lipedema wellness conversation. So we talk about wellness.
Mm.
And so, Bryan, if there was a message that you would like to share around the world that you want everybody to know, what would it be?
Yeah, it's something that really hit me about the lipedema community when I heard people say it's not your fault. I think that people with lipedema have been told their whole life it's their fault because they're eating too much. And it's just simply not true. And that people don't believe you because they don't understand this disease. And so it's not your fault. It's probably the most important thing I think you could say.
Yeah, yeah. And I can say that I remember the first time I heard somebody say it's not your fault. I was in a car listening to a broadcast. I had to pull over to the side of the road, and not a broadcast, a podcast. I pulled over the side of the road. I backed it up and I listened to it again. And the way this person said it, it just released the emotion in me. I mean,
Mm,
I just sat there and cried.
mm.
when the way it was explained that this isn't my fault was, it was overwhelming, because I'd
Mm,
always, I've been blamed for so long. And so that those are really, really important words to understand. Even we've we are learning that even what they call simple obesity or general obesity is not our fault either.
mm,
And
right, right,
we're learning that that we're very complex people. We're
right.
very complex organisms here, and that it's something that we're dealing with. I would like to say I want everybody to know that there's hope, that we're here for you. Please feel free to send any of us at Lipedema Simplified an email. It's our first name, followed by at lipedema-simplified.org. And we will reach out to you, we'll respond to you. You are not alone. We are here for you, and there is hope. And with that, we love you. Have a great day.